Okay, everyone, credit card debt is something that almost everyone struggles with at one time or another.
Right.
But this video will provide you with a brief glimpse into how you can also decrease or just eliminate your credit card debt.
Here we go.
Here we go.
All right, so we're going to talk about 11 ways that you can destroy your credit card debt.
Destroy it.
That's right. So first one would be, let's call the credit card company and negotiate. So just because you get that statement in the mail that says, hey, you got to pay this today, and this is how much it is, and this is what the interest rate's going to be. The reality is you can actually call the credit card company and say, look, here's my situation, what can we do? And sometimes they'll negotiate with you. And sometimes maybe the first person you talk to won't, but maybe you can ask to speak to that person's supervisor and that person's supervisor. Or just call back. But that can help you to be able to get to a place where you can actually start to pay off some of that credit card debt. Sometimes there can be even charges that don't make, because sometimes there are things that aren't right, and so there might be things in there and you look at it and say, that's not right. And so maybe that's a conversation you have with the credit card company. So number 2, so the thing that we're going to work on is crafting a payment plan.
Yep.
So in order to pay this debt off, you're going to have a plan. You can't just magically just say, okay, you're going to get this done. You're probably going to have some sort of payment plan. You got to look at your budget. You're going to have to figure out, okay, how much can I put away toward this debt this month? And also figuring out, if you've got multiple cards, figuring out maybe you have multiple debts, and then figuring out what are you going to pay first, or how much are you going to put on each one. You're going to have to come up with a strategy. There's different ways to do that. You can pay the one with the biggest balance, or you can pay the one with the biggest interest rate. So there's different strategies on that, but you all kind of have to decide for yourself what you feel most comfortable with. And so number 3.
Before we go there,
okay.
I do have something to say about the credit card debt. One thing that you'll see on television is to consolidate, and sometimes it's not the best option. So sometimes you will see some credit card offers on television or sometimes in the newspaper, and sometimes those are not your best opportunity. It's a great opportunity for them, but not necessarily for you. So be very careful when dealing with those credit card opportunists to make sure that you get the best deal, and also that you don't get squandered out of your money.
Very good. So number 3, so we are going to look at your credit cards and see if there's an opportunity to do a balance transfer. So you may have multiple cards, and maybe one of them has a lower interest rate than some of the others. So you sometimes have the opportunity to do a balance transfer and not have to have that same interest rate that you had on that debt previously, and that can help you to pay that debt off faster. Okay, number 4. All right, so we are going to try to create a side hustle and then throw all that money at your debt. So the first 3 strategies.
Are you talking about dollar bills?
Yes, we're making it rain.
Oh,
yes.
okay.
Yes. So yeah, basically, we talked about before ways that you can work with the situation you have with the money you have and try to pay down the money on your debt. Number 4 deals with how do you generate more money for your household and be able to pay your debt off faster that way. So you can kind of deal with the expenses that you have and the income you have, or you can try to increase your income to pay off your debt.
All right, so number 5 is actually reducing your expenditures. So one thing that I did this week is I called Terminex, and I basically said, okay, Terminex, I've had an account with you for a very long time, but I really need to reduce my cost. What can you do? And so they said, oh, well, did you refer so-and-so? I said, yeah, I referred so-and-so, and they're like, well, you missed your referral bonus. Let me give it to you. I'm like, yeah. So it's $60 toward a Terminex bill, and Terminex is not necessarily the a very inexpensive thing. It is very costly, especially if you pay for it at one time per year. So I would definitely ask your if you have cable, call the cable company. The light company will probably not negotiate with you as much, but they might talk to you about a rebate or a savings program. Also, your local utility companies, so like the water, the gas, etc., they're probably not going to negotiate with you, but you can always try. Hey, all they can do is to tell you no.
Right.
Also, as you reduce those expenditures, take the money that you would usually allocate toward that bill and throw it, like literally throw it toward that credit card debt. Because when you do that, you'll see your total amount just dwindle down, and that is definitely a good thing to see.
And not all of those things that you do are going to be hard. I mean, because I think sometimes you think, oh, well, I couldn't live without this, or I couldn't live without that. You can make changes like when we talked about cable.
Yep.
Moving from cable to using a Roku or another digital system. Taking that cable bill out, and again, this is also kind of looking at your services that you have, because through our phone provider, we actually were able to get additional digital service that provided our channels for very, very low cost compared to cable. And so we really didn't compromise a lot, but we saved a whole lot of money. So there are a lot of things like that where you can figure out, well, maybe I don't have to buy brand A, I can buy brand B, and then it's cheaper.
Hey, I don't mind brand B at all. But that actually leads us to our next one, which is asking your friends, your friends and your family, especially your mom and dad potentially, hey, I have this credit card debt. I know I didn't tell you about it, but do you have like $500 that I can borrow? They'll probably tell you no, but they would probably, after you open up that door and disclose that information about yourself, they're more likely to cut coupons for you, or to direct current savings programs that you would qualify for potentially to you. So it just opens the door. So you start with a big ask and you end up with a little product, but that definitely works.
And just letting your friends know can actually be really helpful.
Yes.
When your friends know that you are in debt or you're struggling, or your family, when they're all like, hey, let's go spend a lot of money, let's go here, let's go there, they're going to know, but they're not going to give you a hard time about it, because they already know, hey, this may not necessarily be great for you because you are trying to achieve your goal of getting rid of your debt. So they're not going to put that pressure on you to say, hey, well, why aren't you going to go with us to do this, or maybe let's do this instead, because we get that that's what you're trying to do. And if they don't get it, then maybe that's not who you want to spend a lot of time with anyway. But I think sometimes being honest with people is helpful, just so that they understand why you maybe don't do the same things as everybody else, just so that you know what your family's goals are and you want to achieve them.
And if your friends tell you no, you can always walk around your home and figure out things that you want to sell or to let go on the Let Go app. Facebook Marketplace is great for this, because I actually look at Facebook Marketplace every single night to see what's selling and what is not selling. But it's a great way for you to figure out what you can make money on that's just sitting around your house collecting dust. So that's another way that you can make money to contribute toward your debt. And also, after you sell some things in your house, you can also look for a job. So as you're looking, you can look for a job, and you can look for a job that pays more money, maybe offers more bonuses or some flex time. But looking for another job can also help you reduce debt, or potentially taking on a second job on the weekends.
Very good. So now we're at number 9, and here is using points instead of cash. So I know people they say, oh, let's just stop using credit cards altogether. But you may have, from using all these cards, you may have accumulated points or miles or other types of rewards, and you can use those instead of cash. And then the cash that you would have spent, you can then use that to help pay down your debt. But you may not think, well, maybe you don't do much with those points now, but if you start learning how to use those points, they can actually save you quite a bit of money.
Those points are almost just like cash. Recently, my father was sick and he had to stay in the hospital for a while. So on the weekends, I would go to where he was located and I would basically just spend hotel points to stay every night. And so compared to the probably $2,000 that I would have spent, I spent hotel points, and that helped out significantly.
That's so true. It saved us quite a bit.
Quite a bit.
Number 10, you can actually cut your grocery coupons and food coupons. So I know you may think, oh, I don't want to cut coupons, or I don't want to do that, but it actually can save you quite a bit of money.
Oh yeah.
And maybe if you're not a physical paper coupon person, there are a lot of digital coupon apps that you can use.
Personally, we use Ibotta, IBOTTA, and we'll have a link in the box below for more information about Ibotta.
And there are places where you can get those coupons. Obviously, at the where you can buy your newspapers.
Dollar Tree.
Dollar Tree is a great place to get newspapers
Yeah.
on the cheap. And number 11. So we are going to try to utilize our skills and any types of other talents that we have. So you may be sitting on talents that you're not using, and those talents can actually bring you some money that can help you pay down that debt. So don't take those skills for granted. If you know how to write, or you know how to build things or fix things, or basically how to teach people how to do things.
Yes.
There's so many ways that you can turn that into some sort of side hustle, or could become your new business opportunity. But don't sit on those. Make sure you use them.
And so if you have any other items to allocate to our list, please contribute. We have 11 items that we've gone over on through the list. So the first one is to call the credit card company, to negotiate, then to craft a payment plan, then also to get another credit card and do a balance transfer, but it's not through those credit consolidation companies, from credit card company to credit card company. Create a side hustle and throw that money that you accumulate from that side hustle at your debt. Also to reduce expenditures and throw that at the money that you would have spent toward your debt as well. Personal loans from friends. If they tell you no, you sell what you have, potentially to your friends. And then also to find another job that offers like additional benefits or additional cash that you can allocate toward your debt. And also points versus cash. Cutting food and grocery coupons. And then last but not least, utilizing your skills and your talents. But if you have an additional item that we did not cover in this video, please write them below and we will definitely give you a shout out on the next video. And last but not least, discover those things that you can use to make your weekend count and to make your financial wellness a little bit better. And we'll be going over several different items in our series, so stay tuned for that. But if you know someone who would benefit from the items that we've talked about today, please share this video with them, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, what have you. Please share it with them, and that will definitely make a difference in their life as well.
All right, we'll see you next time.
See you next time. Bye.